Hello and good evening to you wherever you are in this Republic of Kenya and beyond our borders. Tonight on the second day of October, a day that is quite rough for the Manchester United fans. And well, here at KUTV, we are here to inform you on everything happening in the country and beyond our borders. Welcome to this broadcast that begins with tonight's top highlights.
We will work together, says President William Ruto as he makes his first visit to the Nyanza region in Homa Bay County since taking office. The Kenya National Civil Society Centre faults the government on failure to include main stakeholders in the CBC task force. Despite huge losses following a prolonged drought in Garissa County, pastoralists reap big through fodder farming. Amos Kipruto destroys a sensational field to break the tape and win the London Marathon.
Welcome to the Weekend Live. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and the sign language interpretation will be sailing through with Sheila Kinyaga. President William Ruto today attended a church service at Africa Inland Church in Homa Bay County, where he presided over a fundraiser for the construction of the church before interacting with the residents later in the afternoon. This marks his first time visiting Nyanza region since taking office.
The visit to the region is President Ruto's first after he won the presidency's August 9, 2022 general elections. The president making his place among worshippers at Africa Inland Church in Homa Bay County. Despite garnering a lower number of votes in the region, which highly voted for his competitor Azimio leader Raila Odinga, Ruto highlighted that the season of politics was now over with a task at hand to unite and build the nation.
Tutashirikiana na viongozi wenu na hii Homa Bay haiwezi kubaki nyuma wakati Kenya inasonga mbele.
Ruto pledged to see prior agreements during the Kenya Kwanza Economic Forum are executed.
I am going to work with all elected leaders in Homa Bay County and in all counties in the Republic of Kenya so that we can transform our country on the basis of the plan we have agreed upon.
The president promised to boost artificial insemination services in the region, hence improving crossbreeding and livestock production. Nevertheless, Homa Bay cotton farmers will be given hybrid BT cotton seeds, as this will boost the Kenyan textile industry.
Tukakubaliana na nyinyi mambo ya uvuvi, tukakubaliana na nyinyi mambo ya housing, tukakubaliana na nyinyi mambo ya maji, tukakubaliana na nyinyi mambo ya cotton, tukakubaliana na nyinyi mambo ya uchumi. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie hiyo mpango, nitaomba Mungu anisaidie na nitekeleze.
He further promised to build technical training institutes in the region to solve unemployment by giving the youth skills, education and job opportunities. President Ruto makes Nyanza a region from which he received rather limited support, the first to set foot in after his inauguration in the effort to bring the nation together. Jeff Mwangi, KUTV.
I will respect them. Those were President William Ruto's words in Homa Bay County, as reassured Homa Bay residents that he will respect former President Uhuru Kenyatta as former head of state and also respect ODM leader Raila Odinga as notable leaders in this country.
Speaking to residents of Homa Bay after fundraising church service at the African Inland Church in Homa Bay County, the head of state highly noted that he will respect former President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga as part of notable leaders of this country. President Ruto also said that he will work hand in hand with leaders in the region, despite their political differences, to fulfill the promises he gave during the campaign period.
Wale viongozi wametutangulia, mimi nitawaheshimu. Mimi nitaheshimu Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na nitaheshimu Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga kama viongozi waliotutangulia.
This comes a day after Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka tore into President William Ruto's inaugural speech, delivered in a joint Parliament and Senate session on Thursday, labeling it as the shortest ever address a sitting president has made before members of the two houses in Kenya's history.
If he wanted us to believe the ridicule he tried to bestow on President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, he could have started by saying, I had to resign.
The service, which marked President Ruto's first visit to the Nyanza region since assuming office in September, the head of state has promised to work with all elected leaders across the country to create a unified and developed Kenya. Israel Omwai, KUTV.
And as the respect plays on, Trade Cabinet Secretary nominee Moses Kuria has announced that he has dissolved his Chama cha Kazi party to join the United Democratic Alliance. Speaking at a funeral in Elgeyo Marakwet, the former Gatundu South MP stated that he has already notified the Officer of Registrar of Political Parties of his move. Kuria was among the 22 party leaders who joined the Kenya Kwanza Alliance in March 2022 and fronted President Ruto as its presidential candidate in the August 9th general election. According to the Political Parties Act, upon receipt of the request, the registrar shall gazette within 7 days the dissolution of the Chama cha Kazi party.
Unajua mimi nilikuwa mpaka jana nilikuwa kiongozi wa chama inaitwa Chama cha Kazi. Nikavuja hiyo chama, tukalikia registrar, tukaingia ndani ya UDA. Sasa kama mimi mtu mkubwa, waziri mzima, anavuja chama ingia UDA, wewe ni nani? Tunaelewana? Mimi nataka tuungane mkono, tukimaliza nomination ya UDA, hiyo maneno hizi hapa. Kwa sababu wakati ule mwingine sisi tulikuwa kwa upinzani. Mnajua tulikuwa na time kidogo. Sasa hizi sisi ni watu tuko busy sana na mashida ya mahasla. Maneno ya uchaguzi mingi hatutaki.
And away from the political banter, the Kenya National Civil Society Centre has contended with what it claims the exclusion of key stakeholder groups in the government to be established in the task force to review the competency-based curriculum. On this score alone, the society has views that the government's effort to reform education in the country seems to have started on a wrong footing by repeating the same mistakes made during the introduction of the competency-based curriculum.
The Kenya National Civil Society Centre has highlighted with concern President William Ruto's move to establish a task force to review the competency-based curriculum. According to the society, right from the outset, the government seems to have deliberately taken the position that key stakeholder groups should not be members of the Education Reform Task Force, a development that they allege will once undermine the initiative and deny its recommendations the broad ownership that the new education system needs to gain public acceptance and support for its successful implementation. In a statement to newsrooms, the society says, and I quote, the exclusion of stakeholder groups like the Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET, and the University Academic Staff Union UASU, despite legitimate concerns and misgivings that they have raised about the manner in which the government introduced and implemented the CBC, sends the wrong signal that Kenya Kwanza regime could also be falling into the same trap of acting in exclusion of others for political reasons rather than addressing the gaps for the benefit of the society. End of quote. President Ruto announced a 49-member task force to assess the main weaknesses that bogged down the competency-based curriculum. The Educational Reform Task Force is viewed to be one of the largest task forces ever formed in Kenya's political and public governance history.
Now, 7 people are reportedly dead at Ngimari in Embu County after their house caught fire. The casualties, including a man, his wife, their 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Embu East Deputy County Commissioner Jane Warwinge has confirmed the Sunday morning incident. Investigations by the police are underway to identify the cause of the fire. All right, and away from that report, it is the weekend, by the way, and the release is a treat to treasure. Sit back, just for you. This is By the Way.
Sisi tunafanya siasa ambayo haina ujuzi.
Tried and tested.
So if you want to know how to win elections, please talk to me.
Na alisema tusidanganya, hata yeye asitudanganye. Hata yeye asitudanganye.
The Buffalo Soldier strides on.
Come to the command center.
And this only happens, by the way, in Kenya.
It's the 254, but do I say?
Don't run! Murife! Don't run!
Kenyans have baffled the world.
Indeed, some questions.
Alithubutu kusema kwamba yeye alikuwa kiongozi wa upinzani.
Needed answers.
The sitting deputy president became the candidate of the opposition. And the leader of the opposition became the candidate of government.
What are you asking our parliamentarians to do?
Mutulie, muende slow.
Sasa kama mimi mtu mkubwa, waziri mzima, anavuta chama ingia UDA, wewe ni nani?
And as things should be, the opposition candidate won the election and became president. And the president became the leader of the opposition party.
Jameni, njooni munisaidie hapa kwa sababu mambo imekuwa mramu.
If I was William Ruto, I would withdraw some of this immediately to avoid national shame.
Viongozi wetu watapata heshima ya kutosha wakati wanaenda kupumzika.
And the capital was full of surprises.
We are surprised by the reaction of the police.
Why?
And not allow people to be intimidated because of what they are purported to have been supporting.
And the stone keeps rolling.
Farida, how are you?
Harun,
Wakisema na sasa hiyo ingine imebaki, tunawachia wengine. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio hali.
by the way,
Okay, and that's where we take our first break right here on the Weekend Live. We'll be back in a moment.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause? Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits, the road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane, keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is
ATMs. Took us 5 months to build the first 2 prototypes we had for the mini water ATMs, and that process ended in 2022 January. We've managed to do 70% of what we're using to outsource locally.
Typically, a customer, if he has a tag, will come over to the water hub, tap his or her tag, then key in the amount of water that he or she will want to dispense, and then water will automatically dispense from the water hub.
Welcome back to the Weekend Live. It's that time for agriculture now. Farmers in Embu County are distressed over the high cost of feed that are threatening to kill their dream of deriving a livelihood from chicken. The farmers, who have taken to rearing improved kienyeji chicken for the market, are worried that the investments may go up in smoke unless the government does something to lower the cost of finished feeds or the raw materials for formulating their own. Further on, residents of Kamu, the area in Garissa County, have ventured into fodder farming so as to save their lives and that of their livestock due to the drought that has greatly ravaged the north and eastern counties. This venture has been successful after getting support from different non-governmental organizations, including the USAID.
As hunger intensifies among the northeastern residents due to drought, livestock farmers are counting huge losses following a prolonged drought that has claimed hundreds of their livestock. However, this is different from Kamu, the area in Garissa County, where residents are reaping big after deciding to venture into fodder farming. For the first timer in the farm that is located 50 kilometers from Garissa town, might be mistaken to think that the area is not experiencing drought like other parts of the region. According to Hussein Ali, who is the Secretary General of FACO, the Farmers Cooperative, they started as a society, later on transforming into a cooperative with the help of USAID.
Fikiria kupanda hiyo nyasi, tuliona shida ya nyasi sababu ya hiyo ukame. Ukame imezidi kwa hii ardhi hii ambayo tunaishi, ambayo inaitwa Northeastern. Imekuwa mahali ya ukame. Tukaona sasa, tukafikiria, tukasema wacha tulime nyasi ili hiyo ukame at least tunaweza kungangana naye kwa hiyo mifugo.
Through the 55 farmers of FACO, they have managed to irrigate fodder in a 6-acre land along the banks of the river. Ali, a member of the cooperative, says they started the farm with 10 members, which later grew to 54 members.
Badiliko kubwa sana. Ile ng'ombe ambayo tumeleta sahi ambayo mliona ilikuwa inakonda sana wakati tumeleta. Na sahi imeimprove. Sahi amenona, wewe mwenyewe uliona, sahi inaanza kunona.
His sentiments have been echoed by Sadia Mohamud together with Hussein Ibrahim, who have urged the government to come to their aid and organize more training to the farmers who still lack the knowledge regarding farming.
Tunataka miradi ongezwe, mafunzo pia iongezwe kwa sababu watu sisi tukao pastoralist, mambo za kilimo bado tuko changa. Tungeomba pia mafunzo za kulima iongezwe.
Muqtada Hariri, the officer in charge of livestock marketing system in the cooperative, explains that the main objective is to support the pastoral community by providing them with cheaper fodder so that they don't lose their animals during drought season. Reporting for KUTV, my name is Shadrach Smith.
Thank you, Shadrach Simi, for that report. And now, young farmers have been encouraged to practice agroecology, which will help enhance the resilience of livelihoods and provide climate change mitigation and adaptation solutions. In an environment where global weather patterns continue to shift, considering that Lower Eastern receives little rainfall, stakeholders have affirmed that agroecology will serve them a great deal.
The ever-increasing stress on the ecosystem have led to dwindling of natural resources, low food production, and greatly impacted food security, thereby pushing for the need to incorporate agroecology, which is a circular system in which a product or byproduct can be used within the same farm setup. According to Collins Owor, a youthful farmer from INAIDS Foundation, in the past there has been a perception that agroecology is too complex, yet it is the best path forward for a suitable food system that is rooted in resilience and productivity.
We want to make farmers to be able to fertilize their farm, notwithstanding the market prices of fertilizer or what have you. We want them to be able to use the resources within the community, within the homestead, to be able to fertilize their farm and to be able to grow and produce. So we encourage youths to actually take this up as a to take agroecology up as something that they can be able to do to improve themselves, not only economically but also socially.
Collins is part of the more than 15 young farmers drawn from the counties of Makueni, Kajiado, Taita Taveta and Kiambu, who had converged in Kangundo, Machakos County for a visit to several model farms owned by youth to learn agroecology. They say people are usually not interested in the field of agriculture, in large part due to the perception of farming being antiquated and unprofitable.
Wajua kilimo hai kusema kweli kinahitaji hela, lakini sio hela ambayo vijana wanaifikiria. Wajua kijana ukiongea mambo ya hela anachukua ile hela ambayo anatoa mfukoni, lakini hivi vitu ambavyo viko tu ambavyo vimetuzingira sisi kama hii mimea yetu ya kiasili ambayo unaweza tumia kutengeneza hizo mbolea, kutengeneza madawa, kutumia katika mashamba. Lakini sasa kijana ukimwambia jitwike katika hii kilimo hai, ile yeye ukimwambia tengeneze hizo zile zypits inakuwa ni ngumu. Ukimwambia afuge kama ni kuku, afuge na mbuzi, apande na spinach hapo kando ambao tunaita kitchen garden, kwake anaona inakuwa ni kazi ngumu.
Collins Mwashumbe, a farmer from Taita Taveta, however, says that the perception that agriculture is involving and tiring is true and can only be achieved by someone with great zeal and determination. Even so, the growing number of investor farmers is raising concerns in regards to who should actively participate in the agricultural sector, which agricultural support organizations urge youth to start small and be innovative. Jacqueline Wanjiru, KUTV.
Now, farmers in Embu County have been asked to make good use of the coming short rains. The county agricultural officers urged farmers to plant early maturing and drought-resistant crops. The Kenya Meteorological Department said that the county, as well as the whole country, is expected to experience low amounts of rainfall from October to November this year.
According to weather specialists, the amount of rain expected in the country in the month of October and November this year is too low, a situation that is forecasted to be below normal to curb food shortage. According to Embu County Meteorological Officer Charles Mutisia, the rain's onset will be between the 4th weeks of October to 1st week of November, highly noting that the duration is not adequate for many crops to reach maturity. Mutisia thus asked farmers to liaise with agricultural extension officers to get advice on how to make good use of the rains in terms of suitable seed selection in the ecological zones.
Hivyo kwa kifupi ni kusema kuwa mvua haitakuwa la kutosha vile katika Embu zima. Sana sana itakuwa duni zaidi.
Speaking in Embu County in a meeting with stakeholders that aimed at formulating an advisory message for farmers, Embu County Crops Officer Patrick Njeru asked the farmers to prepare the farms early with minimal tillage to conserve moisture before the onset of the rains.
Vyema tutayarishe mashamba yetu kwa mapema na tutumie ile jinsi inafaa. Tumeelezwa hapa kwamba tubadilishe jinsi yetu ya kutayarisha mashamba na kulingana na ile utaalamu wa watu wa hali ya anga. Tumeambiwa kwamba mvua itakuwa pungufu, itakuwa kidogo kuliko ile tunatarajia.
Lakini tufanye diversified farming ambayo inachukua mimea yote ambayo tunalima itakuwa ni ya maana.
However, the experts challenged both the national and county governments to come up with measures that will help the country shift from rain-fed to irrigated agriculture through construction of dams and water ponds. Israel Umwai, KUTV.
Now, Elsa, Kakuzi, a local agribusiness farm, has for the second time secured pre-shipment approval from the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service to China. Kakuzi will be shipping several 20-foot container loads by sea as demand for quality Kenyan avocado fresh fruits continues to grow.
Speaking when he confirmed the scheduled shipment, Kakuzi PLC Managing Director Mr. Christopher Flowers said that the containers were prepared and transferred to Mombasa over the weekend for shipment to China. Mr. Flowers added that the shipment to China are providing the much-needed growth leverage for Kenyan produce and Kakuzi Farm as it seeks to enhance its market and products diversification strategy. Speaking from China, Kakuzi Market Agent Halt's fresh produce representative, Mr. Li Fan Yu, said that the farm is sourcing its supplies from the approved countries of global partners who are carefully selected, and they include Chile, Peru, New Zealand, and Mexico. According to Mr. Yu, the Chinese market needs more supply of quality fruit and more options to enable the consumers purchase avocados throughout the year at affordable prices. He added that consistent availability of quality fruit with the correct dry matter content is essential to ensure encouragement of repeat purchases because of a great taste experience. The export of fresh avocados to China follows early January signing of 2 protocols to facilitate bilateral trade, mainly the export of avocados and aquatic products from Kenya to China. Kenya is currently the only approved African source market for fresh avocado fruits in China. Susan Karenga, KUTV.
Right, and that agricultural segment brings us to our second break. On the Weekend Live, we'll be back with sports in a moment.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020 359 9054.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits. The road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane. Keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Well, we have the Constitution as our supreme law, which all other laws in this country must conform to the Constitution.
Right.
So the Constitution creates a right to clean and healthy environment. So that right also forms a good basis.
time to get sporty now. Just a week after Eliud Kipchoge's triumph in Berlin, Kenya's Amos Kipruto has today produced a brilliant performance, breaking the tape in 2 hours, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to claim the prestigious TSC London Marathon title. Kipruto commanded victory against Ethiopian legend Leul Gebreselassie, who came in second in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 12 seconds, and Somali-born Belgian Bashir Abdi, who grabbed the third place in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 19 seconds. In the ladies category, Ethiopian Yalemzaf Yehwalau took the lead in 2 hours, 17 minutes and 26 seconds as Kenya clinched the second and fourth position, Jocelyn Jepkosgei and Judith Korir clocking 2 hours, 18 minutes and 7 seconds and 2 hours, 18 minutes and 43 seconds respectively.
And third is becoming a habit for Bashir Abdi. The Olympic and world bronze medalist completes the podium.
Bravo, Kenya. Now, 24 clubs now have confirmed their participation in the International Inter-County Karate Championships scheduled from the 7th to the 9th of this month in Kakamega County. The Secretary General of the Karate Federation Western Region, Christopher Ouma, said that Kakamega County, being the host of the competitions, will present 2 teams, the Kakamega County Karate Club and Masinde Muliro University Karate Club. Ouma, who is also the coach for Kakamega Karate Club, said preparation for the local teams are ongoing and he anticipates a challenging competition from other experienced teams, including the Kenya Police and Kenya Prisons Karate Clubs.
Zile timu yenye tunajua tuko nayo wasiwasi wanaweza tupatia challenge ni APRS na Kenya Police na Prison. Hizo timu tatu ndio, lakini ndio tunaona at least wanaweza tupatia challenge kidogo. But so far sahi players wetu wako kwa hali mzuri kabisa. Ile earlier national.
Oh my, and what a way to end this. Manchester City clashed with Manchester United 6-3 in the English Premier League match this afternoon at Etihad, maintaining their second place behind leading Arsenal on the Premier League